So this is the electrical and software side of our Project Umbrella. So right here, we have our breadboard right here. And this blue wire right here that I'm touching right here grounds everything. And so along this edge right here, we have all our stuff grounded. So we have grounded to connect to our battery pack, to our motor controller, to our Arduino, and everything else as well. And then pretty much what we end up having, it's a little bit messy, but we have our motion sensor right here, and it's wired along to fit into the pins, its respective pins. And then we have it connected to power points in the board. Then we also have right here, these 4 wires right here that are labeled, go all the way up to control our power, and then our 3 switches up here as well. Which brings them right back down to where they're located. As well as we have 2 motors right here. This motor right here is connected and goes up along with these wires up right here, all the way up to control our motor that will actually control our pinion once it's ready. And then if you come back right down here, these 2 right here go underneath of our fan, go all the way over, or underneath our umbrella and go all the way and control our fan over here. And so here's one of our motors. The other motors up top as before. And also on the bottom are so the light sensor as well right there. Yep. It feeds out from underneath it there, and it goes through this hole right under here, feeds up, and it wires in right here, connecting through power, and then also into this analog switch. And so afterwards that, we have our 2 motors, right, the fan right here. We have this one controlled up here. Our sprinkler system will be another motor type system that we have. Then we have our light sensor underneath, and then our motion sensor right here. And so pretty much, now here's the code. Get us a nice view on this. And so pretty much at the top, we have our setups. We have all our integers lined up. We have our setup right here. And right here, what this is going to do, it's going to start reading out the pulse signal, the distance sensor. And it's going to read the distance as well. And it's also going to establish the button setup for each of our 3 buttons. So pretty much with our code. As we press the first button, it's going to turn on this motor at the top to control everything. And so it'll cause a rack and pinion to go, opening the umbrella. And then otherwise, everything's going to be shut off until you get either button 1 or 2 pressed on, which will close the umbrella, or it will override everything. And outside of that, it is going to... and if that button 3 is not pressed, which is the override, right, it's going to keep reading the distance in the light. And if the distance is high enough, it's going to turn on the our fan pin, right? And it's going to turn on our fan if the distance isn't open. So if the umbrella is open, it will turn it on. And the same thing with our light sensor. If it's bright enough outside, the sprinkler will turn on as well. Right now, we don't know how it's going to fit up, so I just have sprinkler set to high right there. Then the same thing, if both our light and our distance sensor is on, it will turn on the fan and on the sprinkler. So now I'm going to connect it real quick. Probably go over the time a little bit, but it'll be fine.
That's fine. Just for the extra credit portion anyway.
Yeah. So now I'm just gonna upload this real quick. The touchscreen one.
I got it. Okay.
So I'm gonna upload it up and then. Okay. So now we have this. So see our fan is on.
Yeah, so
distance sensor. So right here, it's closed like this. See that the fan is not on. But if I move my hand off, the fan will start going. Right? Alright, so now that we have shown our motor, our buttons right now are currently not working at the right time. This is probably due to a wiring error that we need to go back and fix. But this bottom button should override everything. This one right here should be able to close the umbrella and open the umbrella, which should control this motor at the time. The motor actually may even be going, but our gear is fairly loose on it, so it most likely won't, it's not going. Ignore that. Our buttons aren't working as intended right now, but that will be fixed soon. But what I wanted to do was show our light sensor working as well by printing out light. Uploading this up again. To show that our actual sensors are working.
Yeah.
So that this is done uploading. Tools. Serial monitor. And so now underneath it here, right? Just come over here one sec. So now that it's exposed to light, you can read the values at 500 on the serial monitor, right? And as we slowly close it off and cut off the light, they start to drop down to 100 and even 0 as well, as it is underneath the umbrella. And there still is sunlight. Therefore, our light sensor is still working as well. So our sprinkler system would be working as well. And we will have to adjust this value for depending on how bright it is, and we'll have to find like the average value of a cloudy day. Other than that, that is our setup right now for the entire thing. Unfortunately, our buttons are not currently working, so we won't be able to show our other motor working and the switch to turn it off. But we have our fan and would be our sprinkler system working all the time.